thing.
Right.
People actually rarely get harmed by these things.
Sometimes people get hit in the head with a book or whatever.
Right. But what I'm saying is if this is really the case and this is provable, right? And we know this, why should that be a scary thing? If people it should just be like, yeah, sometimes an elephant gets loose at the circus and stomps on a boy, right? But
they don't teach that in school either.
Yeah, but they also teach you, hey, the circus is a lot of fun.
They
right?
don't teach you the circus is a lot of fun either.
Well, they are. I read that in books in school. Joey goes to the circus and it's like his dad bought him peanuts and it's great, right? And sometimes somebody gets hit in the head or stomped by an elephant. And just like the way a poltergeist, a lot of fun, things move around, and sometimes people get hit by a coffee cup that he throws. But we're not teaching people to be afraid of that. Why are we afraid of one thing and not the other thing?
Because they're not going to start teaching people things that they can't prove and that they can't explain.
Then why can't we prove this yet, Tom? If it's so widespread, if you're so adamant that this exists, why haven't we been able to prove it?
A bunch of reasons, Tim.
This is also the argument we had in our climate change episode.
Yeah, you're right, Tim. I couldn't prove climate change existed to you either. First thing, Poltergeist episodes tend to be fairly short-lived. It's not a thing of the Poltergeist hung around for decades and decades. It's not a bunch of lying kids, Tim. That's what you said about climate change too.
Prove me wrong, Tom. Prove me wrong.
So it's short-lived, but the biggest thing is just that people don't report it because they're afraid that they're going to look like nuts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're rarely reported, but there have been some extremely reputable reports. So I read this book. Oh, what the hell is the name of the book now?
This is a great...
It was called the Poltergeist.
Great source.
The Poltergeist Tales or something.
Nice.
But it examined a bunch of real-life poltergeist cases. And they were very strange for one reason, which was these were all the most provable poltergeist cases. And in all these cases, the way they were provable was that people called the police about poltergeists. Would you call the police about a poltergeist?
No, but I also don't think it's a big deal if a picture falls off the wall.
Tim, it goes beyond pictures falling off walls.
I mean, because even if it's all right, I don't even put my pictures up myself. I get a TaskRabbit to do it, so the job is done.
Right.
Well, right. So if a picture falls down,
the first call you're going to make is a TaskRabbit,
exactly,
demanding your money back.
Yeah. You'd be all right, let me just pack up my bag and leave this movie theater and head right over.
Oh, you just sat down. Now for the rest of Inferno. It's more than just pictures falling off walls, Tim. Like I said, it's things flying across the room, things being thrown at you getting thrown across the room sometimes. You get, at the very least, getting thrown out of a chair all the time.
Find one person that will talk to me about getting things or
I don't know these people personally, Tim. Like I said, a lot of them are very embarrassed because they don't like people like you doubting
Skeptics.
them. Yeah.
Patriots.
Yeah. So a lot of these people, what was your question? Oh, why do they care? Because at the very least, it's annoying. You wouldn't be freaked out if things started flying around your home and levitating.
If you're saying that this is just an occurrence,
right,
that is natural, but we don't understand it.
Well, that's what some people think.
Okay.
But then some people think they're ghosts.
Have we finished the list of the things that the poltergeists do?
No, then there's one. Yes, for the most part.
So it's basically moving objects.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Sounds sometimes like knocking and scratching.
Okay. Anything else?
I just found out about poltergeist that could text. So there's
Ghost
that.
Rider.
Not Ghost Rider, Tim. Poltergeist that could text, which is the most terrifying thing to me.
Yeah.
I don't like getting text messages in the first
Me
place.
neither. I'm 100% on board.
Let alone
with that.
from a ghost I don't
Yeah, but
know.
just block
From an
the number.
unknown number, Tim. You can't block the spirit world.
Okay. Tom, so what you're saying...
But then there's another thing that it might be.
No. That they do.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And the texting is very rare. I've only heard about it in one case.
You made me watch some video when I got here, and it was... Tom, it was like 20 minutes long, and it was all about poltergeists. And I kept talking to you to try to change the subject, which is the most
instead of
boring
paying
thing
attention.
I've ever seen. And you were just like, yeah, email server, yeah, whatever. But like, I think you misunderstood the part about the texting.
No, I understood it perfectly clear, Tim. It was terrifying.
I don't know. 'Cause, I was watching, and then you
texted this
turned to
lady.
me. They were just talking about like the moving pictures, and then you turned to me about a texting poltergeist, huh? Like apropos of nothing.
No, they had just talked about the...
Your imagination ran away with.
Anyway, so besides texting, which again, I've only heard about in one case, it's mostly, you're mostly moving things around, throwing things, levitating things.
Right. Now, why is that scary?
Because it's scary, Tim. I can't believe that you think something in your home...
But if you say it happens all the time...
not all the time.
And it's not harmful for the most part...
For the most
then
part.
why are we
But
afraid
I'm telling
of it?
you this as a poltergeist expert.
That's true. That's a lovely embroidered jacket you have.
Thank you, Tim. It costs a fortune. Jeez, it took you long enough to mention it. God, I was throwing you so many hints.
Is that satin?
Yeah, it's satin. Of course. It's a poltergeist fabric of choice. And the thing is, it's not just one thing falling
you're
off.
worked up. I've done it.
It's not just one thing falling off the wall, Tim. It's like when it rains, it pours. Like all of a sudden, all your pictures are falling off, and all your books are flying at you.
Maybe you should check the freaking anchors in your pictures. Any TaskRabbit will tell you that.
And the books are being thrown at you.
Yeah, well, maybe that's just your astronaut father in space trying to...
No, you're thinking of Interstellar.
Yeah.
And that was just the books getting pushed off the thing, which is one thing, and that is another type of poltergeist. It might be your astronaut father trying to communicate with you in the past.
Right. That's what I choose to believe.
Well, I choose to believe that this would be the most terrifying thing I could ever imagine. Not the most terrifying, but like up there.
What about a live human man holding a knife to your throat?
Yeah, that would also be terrifying.
What about as terrifying as a book falling off your shelf, though?
What about a knife coming out of the knife block and flying down your hallway and then being held to your throat?
When has that ever happened?
It's happened. Ask people. Tim, you gotta start asking people.
That's true. I'm not very inquisitive.
Well, and also that's if you believe that it's like a natural occurrence. If you think it's a ghost, then that's scary.
You told me it wasn't. You yelled at me when I said it was a ghost.
Because
But now you're just trying to scare me, so now you've changed your tune. Oh, Tim's afraid of ghosts, eh? Which I'm not, by the way.
For the record.
Let the record state nobody's ever been killed by a ghost.
No, because first off, that's patently false.
Show me the death certificate, Tom.
I can't, Tim. It burned. It disappeared.
Wow. I was told that poltergeists sometimes start fires, but I don't believe that.
Well, they do. So
I bet like way more space heaters start fires than poltergeists.
Yeah, and that's fine. But again,
but I'm not afraid of space heaters. I'm a little afraid of space
yeah,
heaters. I'm very
you're
afraid
terrified of
yeah.
space heaters.
Yeah.
One thing I know about you.
When we were roommates, you bought a space heater, and I was like, "Oh no, you'll never turn this off, you psycho."
It was fine.
You're the worst.
It had a tip over thing. Tim, the other thing that some people think poltergeists are is, well, let me rephrase it. A lot of poltergeist cases, the majority, involve a child or like a kid.
Right, so it's mostly lying children.
It's not mostly lying children, Tim. It's that, and a lot of times it's while the kid's going through puberty.
How did this vase break? This is an expensive vase. I don't know. It must have been some weird spirit that threw it across the room.
People see
Mom.
it. The kids, they think some of these kids have like like powers that they aren't aware of and can't necessarily control, but that they're causing these kinds of things to happen.
Right.
And again, people think it sometimes when they're going through puberty, they're going through the change. These things
Don't call it the change. It's gross. I'm going to barf everywhere.
These things manifest themselves
as like energy. And since teenagers hate books, they're often
you're really focusing on throwing the books.
Because, like, all right.
So they think, and a lot of times it happens in homes where there's like a lot of
turmoil.
Yeah. And that this is
maybe their dad, Craig T. Nelson, isn't paying attention to people.
Maybe, yeah. And that actually it is a way of like repressed angst to be let out. So like some kids get like really into like Morrissey, right. But then some just start throwing faces with their mind.
Right. Well, look, I'm not in the business of being freaked out by teen angst.
Oh, I would think that would scare you more.
No, I'm not afraid of teens.
You're terrified of teens.
Look, I'm afraid of being the butt of a joke in front of teens.
Right.
I want teens laughing at me. You can throw a book at me, teens. Come at me.
You don't think that would be funny to a teenager, Tim?
That'd be hilarious. But I'd have to.
What if a teen with psychic powers pantsed you and then knocked you over while you're
pantsing? You're right.
Yeah, Tim, you'd be humiliated.
Nuts. Yeah.
That's why teens shouldn't play with Ouija boards, Tim.
This is why teens should be, look, not even teens. I'm saying 10 to 19.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, when you're 18. 10, like, just put them on an island.
Well, that island, Tim, all of a sudden that's going to become full of psychic energy.
Yeah, okay. That should have been the twist in Lost.
Oh, this is the island we put all the teens on?
Yeah, and then all the weird magnetism followed them.
Yeah.
And then they grew up, and we stopped putting the teens there. Man, should write this down, Tom.
Okay. So, they're...
Lost 2, the island of lost teens.
So they're very... they think that could also explain why these episodes are somewhat short-lived. Because
teens have short attention spans.
Teens have short lives. No, because it's when they're going through puberty that there's some kind of a brain change going on at the same time. Don't give me that look that there's some kind of a brain change happening at the same time.
Brain change.
A brain change is going on at the same time that allows them to tap into this energy field that normal saps like me and you can't.
Yeah,
on our day-to-day.
It's like they can hear high-pitched noises.
Yeah.
And they can throw electromagnetic energy at things.
Yeah, and they can pop a boner with a strong breeze when they're going through puberty, Tim. They're very...
never use that phrase again.
What, pop a boner?
Jesus.
Tim,
what kind of show are we
look,
running
I'm just
here?
telling you that when teens go through puberty, Tim, a lot of hormones. Hormones raging.
Yeah.
So it might be hormonal poltergeists. We don't know.
Okay, so it's either nobody's
and especially
saying it's
if poltergeists
Tom,
are texting nowadays, teens.
Tom, here's the thing.
What?
I think you were too quick to belittle me before.
I think you were too quick to blame poltergeists on horny teens.
No, I think
when I'm trying to argue that's ghosts.
No, because I said that one thing I knew is that there were ghosts, and you were like, you idiot. But you made me watch this video where a kid got possessed and was talking like an old man who had died.
Well, that's
so. How
different.
Are you telling
me? That might be a poltergeist working with... I mean, think about
they're in cahoots with the ghosts?
Or
okay,
like,
I wasn't that far off. If they often work with ghosts, you can't laugh at me for saying, I think they're ghosts.
They don't necessarily work with ghosts. They work side by side, though, sometimes. Because sometimes what could be more stressful than a ghost happening? And then that stress is going to trigger a poltergeist.
But then they were talking about...
all of a sudden, you just got to move. You got ghosts and poltergeists and demons.
Tom, if